She told me her season was unstable without me nearby. The planet's colors were beautiful, almost like a painting, but there was something unsettling about the way the clouds moved. Storms erupted suddenly and vanished just as quickly. One moment the sky was clear, the next, violent winds ripped across the surface. He frowned. No human planet should behave like this. Sir, we are entering Auroria's atmosphere, said Lieutenant Kara Sen, her voice calm but tinged with tension. Sensors show extreme climate instability. High winds, fluctuating temperatures. It's not safe for long. Elia stood and gazed at the planet. Kara, our mission is clear. The Aurorians asked for help. Whatever is destabilizing their seasons, we need to find it, and fast. His voice carried that firm calm that humans were known for, steady under pressure. It had always worked, even when other species doubted them. The Endeavor descended through the clouds, shaking slightly as winds lashed at the ship. Lightning cracked in the distance, illuminating jagged mountains and sprawling cities. Below, he could see the main city of Lyra's haven, its towers reaching into the sky, glowing with an eerie, artificial warmth. The city's lights flickered as if the inhabitants were struggling to maintain control. When they landed, a figure waited on the landing platform. Elia's eyes immediately went to her, tall, lean, with silver hair that glinted even under Auroria's unstable sunlight. She stepped forward as if she had been expecting them. "Captain Drake," she asked, her voice both commanding and nervous. "I am Lyra." "Lyra Sells, chief climatologist of Auroria." "Lyra," Elia said, offering his hand. "I'm here to help. We received your request for assistance regarding the climate instability." Lyra hesitated for a moment, her eyes scanning his face as if reading for something deeper. "Our seasons, they are unstable. Without you nearby, even I cannot stabilize them." Her words were strange, almost poetic, but Elia sensed there was more to them than mere exaggeration. Kara frowned. "She said our presence affects the climate." Elias shook his head slightly. "It's not unusual for alien systems to respond to human behavior. Our species interacts differently with certain environmental technologies." He didn't elaborate. He had learned that most alien scientists did not fully understand humans' unique adaptability. Lyra led them into the city. The streets were alive with frantic Aurorians working on stabilization panels, adjusting massive conduits of energy flowing through the city like veins of light. The humans noticed small tremors beneath their feet, a low vibration that made the skin tingle. "This is the heart of Lyra's haven," she said, pointing to a massive, crystalline tower in the city center. "It regulates Auroria's climate using energy drawn from the planet itself. But something is interfering, something deep within the core, something not of our making." Elias nodded. Humans had a reputation for solving impossible problems, not because they had the most technology, but because they thought differently. Where others saw chaos, humans saw patterns. Where others hesitated, humans acted. That instinct, that spark of creativity, often tipped the balance. As they approached the tower, a sudden gust of wind shook the city. Lights flickered and the ground quaked. Lyra stumbled, catching herself against the railing. "See," she said, almost whispering. "The seasons, they are failing, the instability is spreading." Elias stepped beside her. "We'll fix it, but I need you to stay calm, Lyra. Panic makes the artifact, whatever it is, react more violently." Lyra's eyes widened. "Artifact?" He gestured toward the central tower. "From what we can gather, the energy core below your city contains a dormant alien device. It responds to emotional and cognitive energy, stress, fear, doubt. Humans have a unique ability to project stability under pressure. I think that's why your climate reacts to our presence." She studied him, disbelief written across her face. Then slowly she nodded. "If what you say is true, I can try to regulate my own energy, but you must stay with me. Your presence, it stabilizes me and through me the city." Elias smiled faintly. "That's why we're here. Let's start." Inside the tower, the air shimmered with energy. Panels of light pulsed, and conduits of power ran like arteries along the walls. Lyra guided them to a control chamber where dozens of Aurorian engineers were frantically adjusting dials and recalibrating instruments. The humans watched silently, observing the flow of energy with curiosity and patience. Lyra explained the problem. The artifact in the core amplifies emotional energy. Any instability, fear, frustration, even excitement can cause microclimatic shifts. If uncontrolled, it can trigger storms, freezes, and heat waves all at once. Kara raised an eyebrow. And humans, we can calm it, Elias nodded. We can. Our brains process uncertainty differently. We adapt faster under pressure. When others panic, humans think and act. That influence, combined with your technology, might stabilize the city long enough to investigate the artifact directly. Lyra's brow furrowed. Then stay with me. I will guide you. You will need to focus your energy, your presence, as we work together. The season, our climate, it depends on you. The first test came immediately. The central panel began to overheat. The ground shook violently, and a high-pitched whine filled the chamber. Lyra gritted her teeth, her hands hovering over the controls. I can't, too much pressure. Elias stepped forward, placing a hand on the railing. Focus, take a deep breath. Observe the readings, don't react emotionally. You know what to do, I'm here, let's work through it. For several tense moments, nothing changed. Then slowly, Lyra's hand steadied. The high-pitched whine softened. The lights on the panels flickered back into a steady rhythm. Outside, the storm that had been building above the city began to disperse, the wind losing its fury. Lyra exhaled, leaning against the console. It worked. The city, it feels calm. She looked at Elias, gratitude shining in her eyes. Without you, I could not have done this. Elias smiled. Humans are good at staying calm when others panic, but you helped too. You guided me, and your energy shaped the outcome. Together we did this. The Aurorians watched silently. Some were skeptical, but others began to whisper among themselves. If humans could influence the energy of a planet through presence and calm reasoning, it would change everything they thought about the galaxy's most adaptable species. That evening, Elias and Lyra stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The sky was clear, the air warm. The city glowed gently in the fading light, its stabilization systems running smoothly for the first time in months. Lyra turned to Elias. My season, my world, it is still unstable without you nearby. But now I understand why. Humans, you bring balance. Not through technology, but through something deeper. Presence, calm, purpose. Elias chuckled softly. We just have a habit of surviving where others see danger, that's all. Perhaps, she said, but it is more than habit, it is something unique. Something I have never seen in Aurorians or in any species. Perhaps the galaxy underestimates humans. He looked out at the horizon, feeling a quiet pride. Humans were often overlooked, underestimated, or dismissed by more technologically advanced species. But here on Auroria, their adaptability, courage, and emotional resilience had made a difference. It had saved a world. The night passed without incident, and for the first time in months, Lyra's haven slept peacefully. Elias knew that the coming days would test them further. Storms could return. The artifact could react unpredictably. But for now, they had achieved a fragile victory. And in the quiet of the night, as Lyra finally allowed herself to relax, she whispered to no one in particular, My season is more stable when he is near. Elias smiled in the darkness. He had no words to respond, only the knowledge that humans, even far from home, had a role to play in shaping worlds. The calm of Lyra's haven did not last long. Even as the city slept peacefully under the starry sky, the alien artifact deep within Auroria's core stirred. Its pulses were faint at first, subtle vibrations traveling up through the ground like a heartbeat. The humans did not notice immediately, but the Aurorians did. A low hum filled the streets, growing louder, like a distant drum warning of an approaching storm. Captain Elias Drake was the first to sense something was wrong. He had walked the city's observation deck with Kara, enjoying the brief respite from chaos, when the hum reached a level that made the hairs on his arms stand up. Elias, Kara said, her voice tense, the sensors are picking up energy fluctuations. They're not natural. Whatever is down there, it's waking up. Elias frowned. I thought the stabilization system had handled it. Lyra said the city was calm. Something changed. He turned to the sky. Even the stars seemed dimmer, as if the planet's energy had begun to interfere with space itself. At that moment, the ground trembled sharply, knocking both humans off balance. Lyra appeared on the balcony, her silver hair catching the dim light of the city. Her eyes widened in alarm. The artifact, it's reacting again. Something is causing it to amplify emotional energy uncontrollably. Elias nodded. We need to get to the control chamber. Now. Inside the tower, the chaos was immediate. Panels flickered and sparked. The Aurorian engineers scrambled to stabilize the conduits, but their panic only made the artifact react more violently. Storms erupted outside, lightning striking random points across the city. The air became heavy and electric, making it hard to breathe. Lyra's hands hovered over the controls, trembling. I can't do this alone, not anymore. I need you here. Your presence, it stabilizes me. Elias stepped beside her, placing a firm hand on the railing. Stay calm. Observe, don't react. Focus on the process, not the panic. I'll guide you. The artifact pulsed suddenly, sending a shockwave through the tower. Lights went out. The Aurorian engineers screamed as a wall of energy erupted near the main console. Elias acted instinctively. He grabbed a heavy tool and jammed it into a release panel, diverting the surge of power away from the engineers. The humans' quick thinking saved lives and prevented structural damage. Lyra's eyes widened. You just reacted without fear. Elias smiled faintly, though his heart raced. Humans think differently under pressure. That's our advantage. They worked together, adjusting the energy conduits, redirecting pulses, and stabilizing the systems enough to prevent the tower from collapsing. But the artifact was far from neutralized. It thrummed like a living thing, responding to every emotion in the room. Kara analyzed the readings on a handheld device. It's more sensitive than we thought. Even a small spike in fear or doubt can trigger extreme weather outside. The entire planet could go out of control if we don't calm it soon. Lyra nodded, gripping the console tightly. Then we must control ourselves and each other. If my emotions falter, the city falters. She paused, looking at Elias. You must stay with me. Without you, I cannot maintain balance. Elias felt a quiet pride. Humans were underestimated across the galaxy, often seen as reckless or fragile. Yet here, on a distant planet, their adaptability and emotional resilience were literally stabilizing a world. He nodded firmly. I'm here, we do this together. The artifact pulsed again, stronger this time. The city trembled. Outside, lightning struck the stabilization towers, sending arcs of energy into the sky. The Aurorians panicked, running through the halls trying to prevent collapse. But every panicked movement fed the artifact, making the storms worse. Elias turned to Lyra. We need to synchronize our focus, mirror each other, calm, deliberate, precise. She nodded. Her hands steadied over the controls. All right, focus, breathe, control, we can do this. They began to work in unison. Elias' calm presence influenced Lyra's energy. Her confidence grew, her movements deliberate and steady. The panels responded, the hum in the air softened, and the tremors decreased slightly. Kara observed in awe. It's working. You're calm, it's spreading through her and through the system. Suddenly, an alert flashed on the main console. External sensors detected a fleet of unknown ships approaching Aurora. They were sleek, dark, and heavily armed. Elias frowned. Looks like the artifact isn't the only problem. We have company. Lyra's eyes widened. Aliens, they're trying to exploit the instability. The fleet did not communicate. They hovered in orbit, sending probes down that caused minor energy spikes in the city. Each spike made the artifact pulse violently, triggering small storms that licked at the city's edges. Lyra's hands shook. Elias placed his hand firmly on her shoulder. "Focus on me. Your fear strengthens it, mine controls it. We need to stabilize the city before we deal with them." The humans worked together, adjusting conduits, redirecting energy flows, and using improvised methods to dampen the artifact's response. Despite the alien interference, the city began to calm. Small windows of stability appeared, allowing the Aurorian engineers to repair damaged systems. Lyra looked at Elias, gratitude and awe in her eyes. "Your presence, I can feel it. The city, it listens to you. Humans, you are extraordinary." Elias smiled. "We survive by adapting, by thinking on our feet, and by staying calm when others panic. That's all it takes." As the night progressed, the alien fleet sent more probes, each one more aggressive than the last. Elias realized that brute force would not work. The aliens expected an ordinary response. But humans were unpredictable. He instructed the engineers to create energy feedback loops, designed not by Aurorian precision, but by human intuition. The loops worked. The artifact's pulses were absorbed and redirected safely into the stabilization systems. Storms outside diminished. Lightning stopped striking randomly. The city began to breathe again, slowly, methodically. The alien fleet, unable to anticipate the humans' unconventional tactics, paused. They scanned the city, puzzled. Their sensors could not detect how a few humans were controlling the planet's most powerful energy system. Lyra turned to Elias, her voice trembling with emotion. "Without you, I would have failed. The city, the planet, it listens to you. Not because of technology, but because of you." Elias nodded quietly. Humans had always been underestimated, even in the farthest reaches of space. Their adaptability, courage, and ability to remain calm under pressure often made them stronger than species with better technology or more predictable minds. On Aurora, it was not just a survival skill, it was a life-saving power. The alien fleet, realizing that conventional tactics would not work, withdrew for now. They remained in orbit, observing, perhaps calculating. But the humans had proven themselves unpredictable, capable, and above all, effective. By dawn, Lyra's haven was stable. The skies were clear, the air warm, and the stabilization systems functioning properly. Aurorians emerged from their shelters, cautiously optimistic. They had witnessed something remarkable. Humans, not the most advanced or precise species, had saved them through presence, calm, and ingenuity. Lyra stood on the balcony with Elias, looking at the city below. "My season, it is more stable when you are near. But tomorrow will be harder. The artifact, it will not rest, and the aliens, they will not leave." Elias placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Then we will face it tomorrow together. Humans survive because we adapt, because we act when others hesitate. That's what we do. And now we show the galaxy that even a world on the brink can be saved by people who never give up." Lyra nodded, a small smile forming. For the first time in months, she felt hope. And for the first time, the Aurorians began to see humans not as reckless outsiders, but as a species capable of bringing balance and order to a chaotic universe. The night ended with cautious peace, but the tension was far from over. Elias knew that the artifact and the alien fleet were only the beginning. Tomorrow would test their abilities further, but he was confident. Humans were unpredictable, courageous, and adaptable, and that would be their greatest weapon. For now, Lyra's haven slept, stable and calm, the first true peace it had seen in months. And Elias Drake knew that wherever humans went, balance, hope, and resilience could follow, even on the most unstable planets in the galaxy. The morning sun barely touched the jagged mountains of Aurora when alarms blared across Lyra's haven. Captain Elias Drake was already awake, scanning the city from the observation deck. The alien fleet had returned, this time not with probes, but with full assault ships in orbit. Lyra joined him, her silver hair catching the first rays of Aurora's sun. "They're back," she said quietly, "and stronger. They will attack the city directly if the artifact remains unstable." Elias nodded. "Then we have to neutralize the artifact first. The city cannot survive both chaos and attack." Kara Sen, standing beside him, checked the readings. "The artifact's pulses are increasing. If we don't act quickly, the storms could destroy half the city before the aliens even arrive." Elias' jaw tightened. "Then we split the problem into two. Lyra, you and I focus on stabilizing the artifact. Kara, you organize the city defenses and Aurorian engineers. Humans and Aurorians together, we can do this." Lyra's eyes met his, determination replacing the fear she had shown before. "I will follow your lead, Elias. Guide me, my energy, we stabilize the planet together." Inside the tower, chaos was already building. The artifact pulsed like a living heart, responding violently to the slightest emotional spike. Engineers scrambled, shouting instructions and panicking. Elias took a deep breath, scanning the control room. "Calm, everyone. Breathe. Observe, do not panic. Humans are here to help." It was a small thing, but his calm, deliberate tone began to influence the Aurorians. Their frantic movements slowed, their panic softened. Elias and Lyra worked in tandem, synchronizing their focus and emotional energy. "The artifact reacts to fear," Elias explained. "We project stability. Every calm decision you make strengthens the system. Your presence matters, Lyra, but together we are stronger." She nodded, hands steady on the controls. "I feel it, our energy, it resonates with the artifact. I can direct it, but it's powerful." Suddenly, a pulse surged through the tower. Sparks flew, knocking several Aurorians to the floor. Elias moved instantly, pulling them out of harm's way and stabilizing the nearest conduit with a heavy tool. Kara shouted over the alarms. "The fleet is firing. Energy blasts are hitting the outer stabilization towers." Elias didn't hesitate. "Lyra, focus on the core. I'll handle the physical systems." For hours, they fought in unison. Lyra's confidence grew under Elias' presence. Together, they manipulated energy flows, redirecting unstable pulses into safe channels and dampening the artifact's violent surges. Outside, the alien fleet advanced, firing energy beams that struck the city's outer towers. Kara coordinated Aurorian engineers to repair the damage, but the humans realized conventional methods alone would not hold. "Elias," Kara said, "the aliens expect us to respond in predictable ways, but humans, we improvise." Elias smiled faintly. "Exactly. Time to show them why humans are underestimated." He moved through the city, using the Endeavor's advanced scanning systems to anticipate where the alien blasts would hit. Human intuition and rapid improvisation allowed them to redirect energy shields to intercept attacks before they struck critical points. The Aurorians watched in awe. These humans could think and act faster than any calculation their machines could perform. Meanwhile, Lyra continued to control the artifact. Its pulses weakened slightly under their joint influence, but it still reacted violently whenever she faltered or doubted herself. Elias remained by her side, a steady presence, projecting calm and purpose. Hours passed, the city trembling under repeated attacks. Then came the critical moment. The artifact pulsed violently, more strongly than ever before, threatening to unleash a storm capable of destroying the entire city. Elias turned to Lyra. "This is it. We need a coordinated push, both mental and technical. We stabilize the artifact or the city falls." She nodded, determination burning in her eyes. "Together, we are one." The two synchronized their energy, human calm blending with Aurorian precision. Lyra guided the power flows while Elias projected stability, countering the artifact's erratic pulses. Kara and the engineers held the city's outer systems together, redirecting alien attacks and reinforcing damaged towers. The artifact resisted at first, sending violent pulses through the city. Sparks flew, lights flickered, and the ground shook. But Elias and Lyra did not waver. Their focus was absolute, their energy synchronized, human courage and ingenuity meeting alien technology in perfect harmony. Finally, with a pulse of brilliant light, the artifact stabilized. The violent energy waves softened, flowing into the stabilization system safely. The city's tremors ceased. Storms outside dissipated, and the alien fleet, observing the sudden control of the planet's energy, hesitated. Elias turned to Kara. "They're confused. They don't expect a human to manage this." "Then let's finish this," Kara replied. She coordinated with Aurorian engineers to create a final energy feedback loop, designed to neutralize the artifact entirely. It was risky, but it worked. The artifact's pulses quieted, its energy contained safely. The alien fleet fired one last salvo, but the city's shields, now fully synchronized with human intuition and Aurorian precision, absorbed it harmlessly. The aliens, realizing they could not predict or overpower the humans, retreated into orbit, leaving Auroria behind. The city was safe. Lyra's haven glowed peacefully under the sun, stable for the first time in months. The Aurorians emerged from their shelters, cheering and embracing one another. Humans had not only stabilized their world but defended it against an alien threat that technology alone could not defeat. Lyra turned to Elias, tears in her eyes. "Without you, none of this would have been possible. My season, my world, it is stable because of you." Elias shook his head. "We did this together, humans, Aurorians, everyone. I just stayed calm. You guided the energy. That's what humans do. We adapt, we improvise, and we act when others panic." She smiled. "Humans, you are extraordinary. Not because of your technology, but because of what you bring with you, courage, calm, and presence. The galaxy underestimates you, but I see now that humans are unique." Elias glanced at the city, now calm and bright. For months, Auroria had been teetering on the edge of chaos. And now, humans had proven that adaptability, intelligence, and courage could turn the tide. As the sun climbed higher, the city celebrated, and the Aurorians began repairing their damaged systems. Lyra approached Elias once more. "My season, my world, is stable with you nearby. But it's more than that. Humans bring hope. Wherever you go, balance follows." Elias smiled, feeling the quiet pride of a species often underestimated. Humans had survived countless dangers across the galaxy, not by brute force but through adaptability, ingenuity, and courage. On Auroria, they had done it again, saving a planet and proving that humans were a force unlike any other. The city lights glowed softly as the first peaceful night in months descended. The storms had passed. The alien fleet had retreated. And the artifact, now contained safely, pulsed quietly, no longer a threat. Lyra watched Elias from the balcony. "Perhaps the galaxy has not yet seen the full potential of humans," she whispered. Elias looked out at the horizon, the wind calm against his face. "Perhaps not," he said. "But one thing is certain. Wherever humans go, balance, hope, and resilience will follow. And no challenge, no matter how impossible, can stop us when we work together." For now, Auroria was safe. But the story of humans stabilizing an alien world would spread across the stars, a reminder that courage, intelligence, and presence could triumph over chaos. And Lyra's words echoed in his mind, almost like a promise. "My season is unstable without you nearby." Elias smiled quietly. Humans had shown the galaxy something profound, that survival, hope, and heroism were not just about strength. They were about adaptability, calm, and the unyielding spark of human ingenuity.